All right, Teague here. Thanks for coming into the live stream. I'm going back to using Google Hangouts instead of OBS because it was just giving me so much problems. I think I've decided I've given up on that. All right, so this live stream we're going to. I just recently did a video lesson of Peace Train, and the intro, so that lesson is up there on the channel. So instead, I thought we would move to the verse and the chord progression underneath this part. So let's jump right in. I want to start with the verse because it's kind of got some interesting things going on it. So it's basically your open C chord that you probably know, right? First finger on the first fret of your second string and second finger on the second fret of your fourth string. I'm actually going to stop there because he's not playing this fifth string or sixth string. We're leaving those out. So just playing 1, 2, 3, 4. And so in this case, we're going to call this a slash chord, C/E, because this E on the fourth string is the lowest note we're hearing. And it's just 4/16 notes, 1 E and up, down, up, down, up. It's pretty easy, right? Then we're going to a G, but same thing. He's not bothering to play the whole G. He's just playing strings 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't need these two fingers. So I've just got my third finger on the third fret of my first string for a G. And now I'm going to call this a slash chord too, G/D, because the fourth string is up the D string, and that's the lowest string we're hearing. Now we're going to do the 4 of those. So we have. Oh, sorry, I've left. We're going to come back to the C. So it's up to you if you want to play the G with your third finger or your pinky. Obviously, the pinky tends to be a weaker finger and hard to get on there, but I think I find the pinky a little bit easier only because it buys me a little bit more room between moving these shapes here. And I'm going to just kind of switch around here so maybe we can see that a little better. Hopefully that's a little better. Still see the strum hand there. There we go. When we come back to the C, so remember we said we have 4/16 notes, 1 E and a, then we go to the G for 4/16 notes, 2 E and a, down, up, down, up. We're going to now go back to the C. Now when we come back to this C, I just realized in this part of the tune, when he plays the C, the high G is there. And Jane, you made it in. How are you? Yay! That's awesome. I haven't seen you in here in a while. How are you? How have you been? So cool to see you in here. I'm just trying to move this window over a little bit so I can see the chat a little better. So I left. I know it has been a while, eh? So I left this. I forgot about this G, this high G on the third string. So you play the C like we said, but you know this G that we're playing for the G chord? It's actually there on the C. I forgot that that's there, but you can hear it. It's like almost like a drone tone on the top. So 4/16, 1 E and a, take away the two fingers for the C chord to give us this G/D for 4/16 notes, down, up, beat 2. Then bring the C back. Now we're going to finish out the measure, so now you'll have 8 of these, right? For 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Yeah, it's great to see you in here, Enchain. I'm glad you made it back in. And again, thanks for being a member of the site. It's so awesome. And you know, the offer is still up there. I think I sent you an email not long ago, right? If there's any lessons or songs. Actually, this Peace Train is from another member who wanted to learn this song. So this is being built for him. Obviously, in the member section, there's a bunch of material being put together, which you'll have access to also. Okay, so one thing I'll say coming back to 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. When you play this, come back to that C for beat 3 and 4. So remember, it's 8 of them all together. You could just count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or you could 3 E and a, 4 E and a. That's the better option. But if you find counting 3E and a 4E and a tricky, you could just count to 8. But the reason I like to count and then rest on beat 1 of the next measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which ends with an up, is it gets the brain focused on those 16th notes in groups of 4, right? Because otherwise it's really easy that you can do 7 or 9, you know, if you're not really counting. So we're trying to really, you know, get the hang of that. So far so good? Yeah, so N-Chain, please, any songs that you're wanting to learn, let me know. I have a couple others on the list I'm going to do very soon. But I'm game to make another lesson for you. Plus, I have a really cool mode expansion that I just haven't got to yet, which I'm excited to put up. It's just there's not as many people interested in modes, right? But I'm looking forward to building that lesson. Okay. Although this has been really fun. I love when I stumble across songs that have way more to them than I realize there is to them. Okay, now we're moving into the next measure of the verse. We're going to go to F, add 2. And the reason it's called add 2 is this G, if you build an F scale, F, G, A, right? If you do my whole step, half step, right, that I've done in other videos and on the site, G is the second note. So, or I should have built it here so we could really see it. F, G, A. So we're playing our F chord, first finger on the first fret of your second string, second finger on the Wild World, yeah. It's time to get by to the side go. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's time to get by to the side go. Yeah, another good one, N-Chain. Yes! I love when good ones are suggested. And I like that it'll kind of go right in. Oh, but it is the Cat Stevens cover, right? You know, years and years ago, I did a series of these guitar clinics for a music store in the States. And I used to, in the clinic, I was doing like all these rock and metal solos. And I used to do a solo from a Mr. Big tune. I'd love to go back and do that. Man, I would love to revisit all that stuff. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. So, where we got? So we have our F chord. I think we said the first finger, second finger. Third finger is on the third fret of your fourth string for this F. It's like your big F, but a lot of people learn this first. It's a little bit easier, right? And then the pinky is going to stay on that third fret of that high E string for a G. Gives us an F, add 2. And like the C and the G, we're avoiding strings 5 and 6. We're really just trying to keep this to 1, 2, 3, 4. So this time, we're going from F add 2 back to the C to the F add 2. Same rhythm, so 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... It's kind of cool, isn't it? Now, when you go from that F to the C, what I would do, and I think, remember how we were debating on what finger we should use for this high G at the beginning of this video? I think now that we've looked at it a little bit more, I think it needs to be the pinky. I don't think, because when you play that F chord, it has to be the pinky. There's no real other way unless you're going to do something like that, which would be really weird. So you have to use your pinky. So when we talked about that G with potentially using the third, I say go with the pinky. That way, the pinky stays there the whole time. There it is for our C. There it is for our G. There it is for our F add 2. Okay, so far so good. So we got N-Chain. Are you playing along? Do you have your guitar out? There's a couple other cool things we're going to try to get to in this video too, I believe. I think. I'm not totally sure. I kind of have a plan, but not a total plan. Yeah, okay. So we started with our C / E, right? Technically, because we're not playing strings 5 and 6, but it is really just a C chord. Let me get my third finger out of there so you can see it better, right? Okay, but actually that hurts. 1 E and A, so we had 4 of those. We went to the G for 4 of those. Down, up, back to the C for 8. But we want to count it 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. And then we went to F add 2 for 4. So 1 E and A. To C, So remember we said when you switch back to the C, do not lift fingers 1 and 4. Do not lift the index or your pinky. Leave those there. So your middle finger is just coming up one string and your third finger is just going away. Now I talk a lot about this in the beginning chord series, but if you've not played a whole lot of chords, something very important to do when you're just learning to switch. This actually goes for any chord. It doesn't matter how long you've played. If you're working on, you know, crazier shapes and you're trying to move through crazier shapes, you still want to work on it the same way, moving one finger at a time, letting the brain kind of see, hey, what exactly is happening here? So when we look at this C to the F, we see that, oh, okay, my middle finger moves down one to get that A for the F chord, and this third, there's my F. When I go to the C, this just, my ring finger goes away. I just think I called it my middle. I'm not sure, hopefully that was right. And my middle finger comes up. Cool? Now this next part, so there's the first two measures of it. It's really only a 4-measure pattern and repeats. This is where the singing is. I would sing it for you, but I don't know that I can really sing this song. I've just never really practiced it. Let's see. So here's what we have so far. So far, so good. I like it, right? It's kind of cool sound. I like that G droning on the top. Just these solid 16th notes, so we get to work on that. Okay, here's where stuff gets a little bit different. He's now going back to this F, but we no longer hear the high G on the top. We actually are hearing the F on the top. So this is this F chord that a lot of people learn in the beginning, where the first finger just bars strings 1 and 2. I used to always teach, wait. You know the Nirvana tune? With that. So it's the F we just did, but we're going to bar that first finger across those two. The rhythm is now a little tiny bit different, but it's cool. We're going to go down on beat 1. We're actually going to put a click on the and of beat 1. And for anyone, if I remember, I sometimes say in these videos I'm going to add links and then I forget to. But if I remember or somebody reminds me, I'll have a link to the strumming series because it actually it goes over this strum pattern as 8ths and 6ths, as quarters and 8ths. But in this, it's 8ths and 16ths. Okay, so we're going from this F on beat 1, clicking on beat 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to go to the G on the up of, so it's the E of beat 1. So 1 E, sorry, the of beat 1. 1 E and and then we're going to hit the whole G chord for the downbeat of beat 2. Little bit trickier now, right? 1, sorry. So without worrying about all the crazy counting for a moment, we just have the F chord, a click, right? Remember, I'm creating that click by releasing the pressure here, just dropping my pick in on the strings. I'm also using this palm, part of my palm here, to kind of drop in on the strings to also at the same time. And then immediately we will come up on that G that we were playing earlier, but just the 4 strings, and then down for beat 2 on the full G. So 1, there's nothing on the E, click on the and, up on the of the G, down for beat 2. So 1 E and 2. Now the good thing is once you hit that G, remember that was a downbeat of beat 2. It's just 4 16th notes like we did earlier in the first, right? So just down, up, down, up. So all together I have 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So far, so good? So all together. sloppy. That's, yeah. Anyway, you don't repeat that over and over. Sorry, I was correcting my own mistake. Here's where we're at all together so far. That's where we're at. Okay. Oh, except I could have added the, because I forgot we talked about that, right? Okay, so moving on to beat 3 of this third measure, we're going to an A minor. When we get to this A minor, we're going to play the A minor. Click. So this is the same rhythm we just played on the the F, right, when we went up and went. But now we're going to go A minor, click. We're going to go to an A sus4. So we're going to drop the pinky in. Oh, I didn't really. Hopefully everyone knows their A minor chord. It's pretty easy going from the. Well, I guess we went from F to G, but A minor has your first finger on the first fret of your second string, second finger on the. Still a little dark in here. I'm trying a new background here, thinking it might be lighter, so I didn't have to set up lights, but still pretty dark. Needs a light right on the fretboard, I think. One of these days, I'm going to have a really good setup for all this. One of these days, once the site is happening a little more. Okay, and then third finger is on the second fret of your third string. So we said A minor, click, put the pinky in, if you can see that, on the third fret of the second string for a D. This is what's giving us A sus4. So A minor, click. You'll go up on the A sus4. And back down on beat 2. So that was very similar to, right? A minor. A minor, click. Put the sus4 in for the up, down. Then you're going to take away the pinky and the first finger to give us an A sus2. And anybody who's done my chord series, this is the very first lesson I teach E minor to A sus2. Probably the easiest switch we can make when we're learning the guitar. So I like to teach students on the very first lesson that, because that way they get to play something that actually sounds like something, but it's pretty easy. Okay, so we went A minor, click. So after the up, down on the A sus4, we take away both of those fingers for the A sus2, and we're going to hit that with an up because that's the E of beat 4. So, and then we'll go back down on it. So, isn't that kind of cool sounding? So a little bit slower again. A minor, click, put the pinky in for the sus4, up, down on that. Take away both the pinky and the first finger to go up, down on that. So 1 E, and 2 E, sorry. So you can think you're doing 2 A sus4s, starting with an up, up, down, and you're doing 2 A minors, starting with an up, right? And we want to start with an up because they're on that offbeat, right? That's one we probably, I don't think any teacher or anybody would ever recommend. You know how sometimes I talk about different picking? I just did with the Blink-182. I took her out. I took her out. It was a Friday night. I woke alone to get the feeling right. We started making out. So I just did a lesson for that one too, right? A video lesson. And you know, I talk a lot of times about alternate picking. You can never go wrong alternate picking, but I actually don't alternate pick that Blink-182. I actually go down, down, up, up. That's how I like to play it. So I'm kind of breaking the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But you can't go wrong alternate picking it. But I just want to be aware that I'm not one of those guys who thinks that alternate picking is the only way to go. I think there are times when what we call natural picking or economy picking works just as well, if not better, sometimes better. So, but alternate picking, obviously, very, very important. And in this particular case, I would definitely stick with the alternate picking, which puts the A minor up, down, and puts the A sus4, sorry, up, down, A minor, up, down. Oh, sorry, A sus4 to A sus2, up, down, up, down. Okay, so far, so good. I think it's almost finished. We have one more measure to go. What was that? Notice I'm kind of practicing it as we go here too. Yeah, it's not really a song I've played much before. Well, I haven't played it all before. I basically just, one of the members of the musiclearning.com, which is my site, asked for it, and so that's what we're doing. And I have a bunch of material in the member section for him too, to make it quite a bit easier then. Okay, so here's this third measure we had. Okay, that's right. Now let's go to the fourth one. F. We're going to do the same rhythm again. Oh, wait, how many measures is this before it repeats? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, it's 4 measures. This is the fourth measure. This is the last measure. Sorry. The tune has some kind of unique things about it. You know something really unique about it? I would have to do a whole separate video for it. But the ending, if anybody listens to the ending is pretty cool, and it has some. Let me see if I just remember. Let's see what's written here. I was thinking it switched times. Yes, it does. It switches to 6/8, so it's in 4/4, and then he switches to 6/8 for the ending, and he's got these 2 parts that sit over. It's pretty unique. It's more so than I would have guessed if somebody had said, "Oh, peace string." But pretty unique. And then Shane, you're saying I'm going to listen to the Mr. Big version of the Wild World and see how it like what. I'm sure it's the same progression. I imagine they're just probably doing power chords and stuff. And I don't know if you're still in here or not, but if you are. Okay, so this fourth measure, which is the last measure of this pattern, we're going F. We're going to go to F to G the exact same way we just did. And we'll do our 4 Gs. And then we're going to go back to F for 8 Fs. So we had. Now, one other thing too, with some of these switches, because he's strumming all 16th notes, sometimes you're going to actually be in between chords on that last up. That's okay. You know, we'll hear a little bit of these open strings, but that's okay. Erica, how are you? Have you started school? Has it started yet? Wait, maybe not, September 2nd. If it hasn't started, it has to be really close. It's awesome to have you in here too. So glad you made it in. I'm actually not going for very much longer, but I'm glad that you made it in for what you did. But this stream, I'm going to, I think I'm just going to leave on the channel. I'm feeling pretty solid about the content. I think is the plan. How are you? I'm excited to know whether school has started for you. That means if I remember the major again, it's physics, but it's specialized. Is it astrophysics you're going into? You've already been in there a month. So how is it going? So for anybody else in here, because we have a few viewers in here, Erica has been a fairly regular, same with N-Chain, has been a fairly regular part of these streams, which have now been going on for, I guess, 5 months every Saturday. Although I think that's going to change a little bit. Been super busy. Oh yeah, well, you know what, Erica, what's going to happen is I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. I don't think I'm going to keep streaming Saturdays at 1. I don't think. I'm not sure. For the little bit, I'll keep it as it is. But I'm thinking of streaming a little bit less and concentrating more on making videos. but I'm still going to stream. But my thought at the moment, and I'm just toying with this, but is streaming maybe once every 3 weeks or maybe 2 weeks, or but having very specific content for the stream, and then like kind of promoting it before the stream, and having people register for the material, and kind of making it more of more like a class, I guess, more like a Anyway, these are some thoughts. So we'll see, but you can stay. The site will say it is astrophysics. I was right. I thought so. Yeah. I bet it's been busy, but going pretty good. That's so cool. I'm so excited for you, Erica. That's so fun. So Erica's in her first year of university, and she's studying astrophysics. She's not fooling around. There was the whole verse. Finally, right? I'm gonna try it again. 1, 2, ready, go. It might have been a little bit wrong on the F. It might have been right. You can see, though, it's a little bit tricky, those getting on the one E and right, switching on the Us. It's a little bit strange, and there's also something else that's a little bit strange in this recording. I mean, strange in today's standards in recording, and that, like, there's these places in the beginning where the guitar is switching on the of the beat, but the bass switches on the and of the beat. So it kind of is like bagonk, bagonk, which, I mean, now I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Did they hear it? Did they like that? Did they want that? Now, I mean, you're not going to, usually we'll have the bass and the guitar. If they're switching, they'll switch at the same time, so it's really solid, right? Because otherwise, it kind of sounds like somebody either came in too early or somebody missed the mark. But I thought that was kind of fascinating, with the tune. Anyway, yeah, not bad, Erica. It's been a very interesting 5 months. Erica's also an N chain a bit too. Been very familiar with this journey that I'm on at the moment. I had played for 6 years, 3 nights a week at the Roxy in downtown Vancouver, and that was paying all my bills. I was teaching. Prior to the Roxy, I was teaching a lot in person. Then when the Roxy started, I kind of let my teaching thing go down a little bit. I was still teaching, but not nearly as much because the Roxy was, bringing in the income. And then the Roxy ended quite suddenly, and left me quite like, uh-oh. So I decided to devote my time to musiclearning.com, which is a guitar educational site. I actually started in 1999, so it's been online a long time. And I've always worked on it, but I kind of go through these phases where I work a bit, and then I get sidetracked with the gig or something else. And anyway, when the Roxy ended, I was kind of like, uh-oh, like, am I going to have to get, I started putting ads up to get more students, but it was going really slow. Money was, my savings was disappearing, and I was like, am I gonna have to get a real job? But I decided that I'm going to go full time on musiclearning.com and really bring that site together the way I've envisioned it from 1999, but never was really following through with all the newsletters and emails and material. And yeah, so I've been working on this whole new site, this whole new membership site. I had a membership site before, but it's moving to this new platform. It's being updated, being made way better, way easier to navigate. And I'm really proud of it, and it's going really well. So Eric, to answer the question, sorry that was really long-winded, but I thought I'd bring other people up to speed a little bit. So, and I gave myself 6 months. I said it had to be making X number of dollars by the end of August. It's the end of August. It is nowhere near paying my bills. Not even close. But I have hope. Some days, not as much, and some days are harder than others. But lately, I've been on a pretty good, feeling pretty good. I'm reading a lot of books, watching a lot of TED Talks, watching a lot of stuff on sales and marketing, and realizing I'm not very good at that stuff, but it's stuff I'm going to get good at. So yeah, and lucky enough, I have, I'm playing the casinos a little bit and teaching a little bit. I'm still syncing, you know, living on the credit card mostly and syncing, but very confident I'm going to get the site doing what it needs to do to pay the bills. And then that day will be remarkable. I can't imagine how great that's going to feel to know that every time I sit down to make a new video or a new stream, that, you know, it's going to people that are helping support me and allowing me to do what I do. So it's very exciting. Very exciting. Okay, so that's the verse. I was going to also teach the part underneath the intro. I did a video for the intro. So there's a part underneath that. But I'm going to save that for another video or another stream because it sounds pretty, Erica says it sounds pretty, oh, let me finish my thought. I'll come right to you, back to you, Erica. Yeah, because I think keeping the content kind of a little more contained, I think is going to be better. Because some of those streams in the beginning, I was doing an hour and a half, and we would learn like 6 different riffs in one stream, which was not good for the search engines. Not I think, you know, it's just too long. So I'm going to try to keep the stream shorter and the content really. So this one will be titled "The Verse of Peace Train." I forget how it goes. C. Repeats. Yeah, it sounds pretty good for the live stream as well. And I'm not sure, Eric, if you were in the last few, but I was messing with using OBS for a few weeks, but I was really having a lot of trouble with lag. I'm now back to the way I was first streaming, which is just Google Hangouts. But it does seem to work better. So unfortunately, it doesn't allow me to screen share and doesn't allow me to plug the electric and have Ableton and all those cool sounds. But, you know, I'll try it again at some point. Again, I think once the site is kind of doing what I would like it to do, I'll probably up my internet plan at the house here and get faster speed, and then we'll see if that changes anything. I'll try again. Or anyway, yeah. So, but I guess I want to say thanks to everybody for watching the stream. Subscribe if you like what you're watching. Lots more. musiclearning.com is a site. Definitely might want to go check that out. There'll be a link in the description. You come join there's a few different mailing lists. There's one for a kind of new riff of the week, which is a new idea I'm doing where I'm teaching one riff every week, and that's all free and the material to go with it. And then, like I said, there's a member section. Anyway, you know the drill. Like the video, subscribe if you're interested, and leave comments, other songs you want to see. David, you made it in. How are you? And I think last week's live stream I missed because I had technical difficulties. I don't think or did I get it going? I can't remember. But I think it was one of those OBS trouble. And Ronnie made it in. Holy cow, everybody's just showing up. What's going on? Ronnie's asking me if I still stream in Pocket Live. I have not in a little bit, but I am going to get back at it. I actually got away from the writing. So Ronnie's been part of these streams for a little while too. And thanks, Erica. That's awesome. Yeah. And you too. Good luck with the school. Study hard. I'm so excited for you. But yeah, so I was streaming. So my band is called Trip Views, and which is the name why the YouTube channel is called Trip Views. Mind you, you can notice the banner has changed to musiclearning.com. Stuff is kind of changing. Been working with so some people to, anyways, some other changes are going to happen with the looks and feels of everything. But I was writing new Trip Views material on Pocket Live, and for a little while there I was writing and streaming almost daily for about an hour, kind of as an exercise to myself. I got away from it because I'm just focused on the site. But yes, Ronnie, I am just a little sporadically now, and hopefully I'll get back at it more. I love writing. Writing does something for my soul that is gigantic. It's funny though, because I find myself, you know, when I'm trying to make time to do that, I have this kind of nagging, like I need to be back working on musiclearning.com and making videos and making material and updating whatever needs to be updated and sending to the lists. And so, and I would like to say, just so it didn't sound all Debbie Downer there a minute ago when I said that the site's not making nearly what I like, not even remotely close to where I wanted to be by the end of August when I said I was going to get a real job. But the good news is it has been growing. Page views have been growing. People joining the mailing list for different series and stuff has been growing. There's actually been a lot of growth. So I'm just dropping the ball in the the sales copy part, right? For having people want to become a member, which it's fine. I'll figure it out, right? I'm kind of looking at it a bit like a challenge, something to get good at. So, okay. So the intro video was already posted for anybody that wants to learn the intro, and this stream was the verse of the peace train, and yeah, that's it. So, hey, thanks, David. That's awesome. How have you been? I love that everybody's showing up in here like this. And Ronnie, how have you been? Like, we kind of have like the regular everyone in here. It's awesome. And but thanks, David. Thanks for the support. I absolutely will do it. I'm reading. You know what I'm reading right now? I'm reading the old 1937 Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich, although it's it's been revised or whatever, but I had never read it, so I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. And then I also bought E-Myth Revisited. So I have this list of these books that I've been wanting to read for a long time. Now I'm reading them in an effort to like try to understand mindset, because I'm well aware that this whole site thing and coming at it like I am, it's very much about the brain. And yeah, I know, isn't that crazy? David just said having been online since 1999 is amazing. I know, it's a long time, right? Isn't that? It's wild. It's 18 years. And had I worked consistently at it for 18 years, I'm pretty sure it would be something now that probably did pay the bills. But I didn't. I think when I started at 99, 2000, 2001, I worked very hard on it, right? That was all and the internet was still relatively new. So I was excited. I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire before I'm 20. Well, I forget how old I was, but and then then I started TripViews, and then that really took me away from the site for a few years, because obviously I love to write and I love to play and I love to sing, and actually TripViews was making a little bit of a mark in Ohio. We're kind of playing these like maybe about 5 cities, and we had more and more people coming out to the shows. It was exciting, but then my dad ended up with cancer. He beat it, so that's a good happy story. He beat cancer, and but I moved to Vancouver because that's where my mom and dad are, and in case cancer was going to get the best of him, I didn't like the thought of not being here, And at that point, my oldest son, who's now 13, was 2, and it was important for me that Anyway, so. Yeah, so then I came here and I worked again on the site really hard. That was 2006, 2007, 2008. And that's when I started the YouTube channel, right? And the YouTube channel has now passed 26 million views. So that's nuts, right? Like, so funny when I watch some of those old videos, and like, when I had a total of like 6,000 views total and 40 subscribers, and, I was making those videos having no idea what that channel was what was going to happen. And here we are streaming on it, right? That's awesome. It's so fun. Could write a book. You know what, Erica? I've thought I would love to write a book, and someday I think I might. I think it'll be a book on, like being a professional musician and because it's definitely not a very easy. It's not a very easy profession. I've been really lucky though, really. David says, so for those who don't know, some of you may know, but David, I went to high school with David. This is so awesome. And we lost complete touch with each other until he found me on the streaming here. David says, remember high school with the 5.5 floppy disk? That was in '89, so that was a crazy 10-year jump. Yeah, absolutely. Ronnie said YouTube notification didn't work. Oh, checking your mail. Oh, sorry, Ronnie. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's something I've done wrong or so. Yeah, I don't know. One buyer of the book, Erica. You're gonna buy my book if I write a book. Someday I might. You know. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So that brings us to the Roxy. So I worked hard on 2006, 7, 8, 9. I guess actually there was a handful of years there I was working pretty hard on the site again, really updating the member section, which is now the old member section, but and making the YouTube videos and growing that channel. And I was writing because that's when that second Trip Fuse thing came out, and I recorded at Omega Media Studios with Jason Martin. And then just as Trip Fuse, we had one rehearsal, I got the Roxy gig, and I had to learn over 100 songs in a fairly short period of time. And I was also a keyboard player. I had to learn. Oh, David said he got the notice. Yeah, I don't know, Ronnie. Sorry that you didn't get the notice. Bummer. Anyway, yeah, and then the Roxy came, and yeah, essentially I just got wrapped up in that ridiculous toxic environment, and I guess kind of became an alcoholic, you know. And then I ended up having to quit drinking for a year and a half because I couldn't get a grip on it, and yeah, I was just really wrapped up in that whole, like, it was pretty, you know, I played 3 nights a week, but then I would spend 2 or 3 days recovering, have a day feeling okay to repeat the process. And I was kind of trapped in it. And I wasn't working on the site, I wasn't writing. It was a weird 6 years. It was like 6 years just and I did a lot of other crappy crap in there, like a lot of lessons learned, a lot of valuable life lessons learned, some very, very important ones, you know. No, don't cheat on the people that you're with. That was a bad one. Anyway, the yeah. So not meaning to bring everybody down. Things are good at the moment. Things are really good. So anyway, okay. It's 1:42. I should go. I'm trying to keep these streams to 30 minutes approximately. That's hard to do, but I love when everybody shows up and we can kind of hang out and talk. And thank you all so much for being in here and the support. And yeah, if you're up for the challenge, go learn the intro to Peace Train, and then you can rewatch this for the verse, and then I'll do a video for the part that goes underneath that intro, because that's pretty cool too. Yeah, you too, David. Thank you so much for the support. Great seeing you in here. And Erica and Ronnie, I'm glad you made it back in, Ronnie. Erica, good luck with school. And Chain, as always, thank you so much for being a member. It means the world to me. And yeah, so as far as I know, oh, my school day memories with David. Yeah, Ronnie's asking for me to say something, David, about our memories in school days. It's a long time ago now, Ronnie. That's like, oh my goodness, right? That's 1986, 87, 88. Yeah, well, what could David? What can we say? We lived on kind of the same block or a block over, right? You had 2 older brothers. So I think we used to watch movies in your basement, right? Yeah. I was always catching up on my piano lessons, probably. Oh, life is such a trip. Such a trip. Yeah. Yeah, and you had 2 older brothers, if I'm not mistaken, right? And your dad wasn't your dad the warden at the prison? Was that right? Or I could be wrong. I think so, though, right? And your brothers worked at the prison too, right? As guards. If that's right. Yeah, who else lived on that block? Peggy. Peggy was right across from you, actually, right? Wonder whatever happened to her. And the Natalie, that was across kind of from Peggy. Head of correctional programs. Oh, yeah. Cool. Is your dad still doing that, David, or is he retired? Probably retired now, I imagine, right? It's a long time ago. Oh no, sorry to hear that. Yeah. Yeah, so just for anybody who's watching and doesn't know what we're talking, so David's just talking about is not, nobody died, it's just retired, but with PTSD. So is that from working in the correctional facilities? I would have to think that would be a hard job, day in and day out. I think that'd be a hard job. Anyway, okay. So I'm saying bye for real. I've said that a couple times, but I'm saying bye for real. So thank you so much for watching. Oh goodness, can I share it? Well, you wrote it, David, so I'm sure I can share it. Right? It's exciting. That's like TV show stuff, right? David is saying that some of the prisoners tried to kill him. So yes, that would probably go create some post. What PTSD. Yeah. Yeah, that's WTF, Ronnie says. Absolutely. That's like what you see on those shows, you know? But I mean, I guess that's what those shows aren't making that up, right? That's some real stuff that's happening in our correctional facilities, right? I actually find that anytime I watch any of those shows, oh yikes, he's even given a shank that was meant to kill him. Holy smokes. Yeah, anytime I watch anything on our prison system, it's pretty crazy, right? And it's kind of sad, ultimately, right? That there's so many people messed up enough to get in there, and then, yeah. I think that comes back a little bit to sometimes these streams end up talking a little bit about mental health, and I think it comes back to that. You know, hopefully as civilization moves forward, you know, mental health is addressed more and more, whether we're just talking about, you know, anxiety that most of us are dealing with, or serious issues that are causing people to hurt other people, or, you know, steal from other people, or the things that, you know, make them end up in those places, right? So crazy. Oh, I should also say that strum lesson number 4 is also posted. For some crazy reason, when I made that, it has a ton of information in it. It's way too much for one video. I should have broke it up. So if you are checking out strum lesson 4, you might want to do it in little chunks, or it can very much feel pretty overwhelming. So, okay. Well, David, that was fun. I love that you shared some of that stuff with us, right? I mean, I'm glad your dad is okay. You're talking about your dad or your brother there with the shank and the. I think I missed because I think your brothers were in the prison system too, right? On the correctional side, not the inside. Your brother, right. Jay, that, yeah. Well, hopefully he's okay. So, okay. But it was awesome catching up with everybody. Thank you all for being in here. So cool. And I'm going to say, this is it. I'm saying bye for real. Again, like, if you dug the information, obviously we've just been hanging out and talking the last few minutes, but the first 30 minutes was a lesson if you're just coming in. And it'll be up to view it. And yeah, and then we'll see you. Like I said, I'm going to leave the Saturday streams up for a little moment, but it might change. I've been saying that for a while, but I think it is going to change. I have some other ideas. So anyway, yes, thank you. Thanks everybody for being in here. It's so cool. Bye, Ronnie. Bye, David. Bye, Erica. Bye, Unchained. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Thanks for coming in and supporting, being part of this, and we'll see you next Saturday at 1. Okay, later, everyone.